Welcome to the Prudential Center, where we just wrapped up a fantastic game of Seton Hall Pirates basketball, seeing the men's team come out victorious on top of the Wagner Seahawks by a score of 85-63. I'm Ben Harris, alongside my good friend Michael Stamm for Pirate TV, where we're going to break down everything we just saw in this competitive Pirates matchup. Michael, first things first, Pirates got the dub. Any initial thoughts about this victory and kind of what it meant to you and what you saw out there?
Yeah, it was definitely a good Pirates victory. While they came out a little slow in that first half, the score was a little too close for comfort. We brought this up in the halftime show, that score was even a little deceiving, and it proved that in the second half when the Pirates really came out. They started hitting their shots. The offensive game plan was just on point today. Defensively, they played very well in the second half. It was just an all-around solid game for the Pirates as you go into, one more game against Nyack, and then the very tough schedule is a very good start to this little stretch.
Now, on the game as a whole, your scoring leaders for the Pirates were Tyrese Samuel and Jared Roden, who each had 15 apiece. And, Michael, Tyrese Samuel really made a lot of his impact in the second half. He had 13 of his 15 in that second period.
Yeah, 100%. We know Jared Roden is going to be up there in the scoring column. He's the best player on this team. But Tyrese Samuel is a guy that, like a lot of players on this team, there's going to be that one guy who really stands out in every single game. This game against Wagner, it was Tyrese Samuel. He was all over the boards, crashing, getting the ball, putting up second chance efforts, and it really proved as he climbs to the top of the scoring column. Very good game for Tyrese Samuel.
And we asked Tyrese about his second half scoring output here.
I think it was just the halftime speech we kind of had. We came out really slow. So I was like, well, not only me, but our team, we were just like, we got to pick up the pace because these games matter. We can't be losing games like this because, in the long run, it's going to hurt us. So we got to just pick up the pace and just play hard.
Now, our other Pirates scoring leader dropped 15. Jared Roden had a beautiful performance, 15 points, as we said, and actually had a double-double, leading the Pirates with 11 rebounds. His all-around contributions are seen every day as the leader of this Pirates team.
Yeah, 100%. I love how Jared Roden is playing this season. He is proving why he was chosen for the All-Big East first team in the preseason. Every game he comes out and shows how much of a leader he is, how much he can take over a game. When he gets the ball in his hands, the defense is watching him. They are staring at him because they know how dangerous that man is with the ball. It's really impressive what he's done recently. He had another good game today, 15 points, 11 rebounds, as we said. We all love some Jared Roden here, and he's proving, he's one of the best players in the Big East.
Jared leads on and off the court. We heard him say post-game that he played a big factor, kind of hyping up his team, talking to everybody during halftime, making adjustments with his squad there. But some really nice all-around production, guys doing things in multiple areas. Jared with that double-double, and Syracuse transfer Kadari Richmond had his most productive game as a Pirate to date today. He almost had a triple-double, 10 points, 9 assists, was passing the ball fantastically, and added 6 rebounds on top of that. What did you make of Kadari Richmond's performance?
Search through the archives, look through PTV. I said this. I loved Kadari Richmond coming to this team. I knew what he could bring here from Syracuse, and while he started off slow, we are seeing that finally come to this squad. He's had a couple good games, and this was really the cherry on top. Almost a triple-double. He was very close, almost a double-double. It was just an all-around great game for Richmond. He just seemed cool. He just seemed collected. He seemed like he was actually a part of this team. Everybody stayed connected. I really loved what I saw from him today.
Kadari had one of his best games as a Pirate. We asked Coach Willard about Kadari's productivity post-game.
I think these guys are starting to get used to playing with him at the point. They know he's going to pass the basketball. He doesn't take a ton of shots. I think he's progressing really well. I think he's, again, he's taking the steps that we need him to take, and I think, the more he understands and valuing each possession and how important each possession is, I think he'll continue to grow.
Now, as we said, this was the second straight game where the Pirates went into halftime not really in the position they exactly wanted to be. They had a 35-33 halftime lead today over the Seahawks, and then last game against Bethune-Cookman, they were actually down 1 point to a lower opponent, 34-33 at the half. So what were kind of things that you noticed about the Pirates' ability to change things up in the second half here tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay positive with this team, and I'm gonna say,
As you should.
Yeah, they're getting their kinks out now, which is what you love to see. You want to see them come out slow against a Wagner, against a Bethune-Cookman. You don't want to see them come out slow against a Texas. So this is what I'm hoping that we're seeing now. As they went into the half, they said, okay, what do we need to do? Coach Willard talked to this team and said, we need to press more defensively. He said that in the postgame. Offensively, get the ball moving, just put up shots. Eventually they will fall through. I know I said this a little earlier. Going into halftime, even though the stat sheet still said the game was close, watching the game, it didn't seem really that close. It seemed like the Pirates were moving around offensively. Defensively, they just had to tighten up a little bit, and that's what they did in that second half. Great job by Coach Willard, getting them to tighten up that defense, and it proved as they scored over 50 in the second half, and Wagner couldn't get many shots up.
These are the kind of games where you want to see the Pirates working through their challenges. You don't want to see this late in the season or in Big East play or against big-time opponents.
Yeah, you're not going to have an easier game for the rest of the season than these three games. Bethune-Cookman, Wagner, and Nyack are your easiest games all year. No Big East game will be easy. No game coming up on the schedule will be easy. These are the times to work out these kinks.
Coach Willard talked about some of his halftime adjustments and his differences and approaches from first half play to second half play post-game.
We pressed. I know if we pressed early in the games and got after it, we'd probably get a better rhythm offensively, but that's not what these games are for. I really want to work on stuff and try to work on certain defensive concepts. It's helped us, but I know, especially on a Wednesday, especially on a Wednesday night at 7:00 versus Wagner. I know how the crowd's going to be, so it's always helped us, to press. But at the same time, with this team, I need to see lineups. I need to see offensive plays. I need to see stuff. So that's why I don't press in the first half. It drives everybody nuts. It drives me nuts, but for the most part, I know what the outcome of the game was going to be. It's just a matter of, are we getting better and are we helping each other?
Of course, Coach Willard talking about how he was able to change the rotation a little bit, shorten things up, get his key players on the floor, and be able to stay there in the second half leads to productivity, and also talked about how they kind of changed up their offensive and defensive sets a little bit, especially offensively with more ball movement, more plays, more sets. How did you feel about the Pirates' changes on both ends of the floor in the second half, specifically strategy-wise?
Yeah, you know what, Ben? Someone asked a very good question that I actually found interesting in the postgame. They asked, is having all this depth kind of a double-edged sword? And Willard stuttered, because sometimes it is. And because they have so many guys, it's hard to stay hot. Not even hot. It's hard to stay consistent the whole time because you're bringing so many different guys all at the same time. They don't all have that connection. You need some time to get going. If you keep the same guys on, you get those plays going, you get the rhythm going. That's what we saw today. They kind of kept the same rotations, had those plays going, had the ball moving around nicely. Defensively, they tightened up, didn't force everything to Eichel Biagu, didn't force everything to Yetna. Obviously, those two had amazing games,
right?
But they didn't force everything to them. They allowed all five guys to play a very good defensive game. Kadari Richmond, a very good defensive game. Jameer Harris had a very good defensive game. All those guys were able to step up because they were playing so many minutes. They were staying on the floor. They were able to stay hot instead of having to sit and wait for their name to be called again.
Yes, I think some of the offensive changes in running more plays, getting into more sets really helped open the floor up a little bit. I mean, the off-ball movement made Wagner's defense stretch a little more thin.
Yeah.
It kind of got the defenders away from the ball and allowed Seton Hall shooters to get open off-ball, and then also create a lot more space for isolation basketball for their ball handlers, which I think was really key to the offensive end and really helped those second-half shooting splits. You see Wagner only shooting kind of mediocre 34% in that second half from the field, whereas Seton Hall kind of blew them out of the water and really improved upon their game second half, shooting 61% from the floor. Those are great shooting numbers to make that second half adjustment, and I think it was a real key to that offensive strategy in the second half.
Yeah, 100%. I have to agree with that. Wagner, they came out hot. They came out with a lot of firepower, and the Pirates just couldn't really do much in the paint. Second half, Pirates slowed down, kept the same guys on the floor. It was able to kind of just stop. We know the Pirates are a bigger team, the better team, and they finally just showed it in the second half.
And a lot of scoring production from a lot of different places. We talked about kind of the unselfishness of this basketball team, being able to move the scoring load kind of around this roster, especially when you are playing a lot of guys. Pirates had 6 different players score in double figures. Tyrese and Roden, of course, led the squad with 15 apiece. Alexis Yetna had 11. Kadari Richmond had 10. Jameer Harris had, I believe, 12. And then Trey Jackson added 10. So a lot of nice offensive production from all around the Pirates roster.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody was stepping up. Everybody was showing their talent today.
Yeah, and kind of last thing before we wrap up here, Michael, the Pirates are looking to Nyack in the Walsh this upcoming Saturday. What are some things you think they need to shore up against another weaker opponent against Nyack here in the Walsh? Going to be a campus game, get the student body involved. What are some things you'd like to see them shore up before the following week's game against a wonderfully talented number 7 Texas team? I mean, Chris Beard's got himself a squad down there in Austin.
Yeah, you have one more game to work out these kinks, to work out these slow starts, to work out these little ticky-tacky fouls, these ticky-tacky turnovers. This is the game to do it against a D2 Nyack team. You're not going to be able to do that against Texas. You're not going to be able to do that against Rutgers, against Iona. This is the time. Get it done now.
Work out your problems against these Division II matchups, especially before that Texas game that's going to be here at the Rock, and surely an exciting one for Pirates Nation. Now, I'm excited about this win here tonight, Michael, and I'm sure you are too. So that's going to do it from the Rock. Michael, I'm surely excited about this Pirates victory. I know you are too. A nice, solid win, 85-63, Pirates over Seahawks from the Rock. And for PTV, Michael and myself are out of here. Peace out.